I want to talk to you a little bit about your music journey.
Okay.
So I know you grew up singing and you were singing at one point in front of your mom's store to try and attract customers. Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom owned her own, like, clothing store and everything in
Cool.
Victoria, and
Okay, you have no excuse to be wearing basketball shorts then if your mom owns a
girl,
clothing
my
store.
mom is, like, the most fashionable, like, stylist. She's been in, like, sales and everything, like,
Cool.
she's worked at the coolest places, like, she was just the manager at, like, Fendi in Vancouver, like, she
Wow.
knows
Okay.
her
That's
shit, you
a
know?
woman of
A
fashion. That's
woman
yeah.
of fashion, and she was, like, so disappointed when I'm like, "Yeah, I want, like, to look like a little boy," like, pretty much. She was, like, always trying to get me in dresses and that's why she, like, loves that I'm dating a girl now because she has, like, a little
Mm.
daughter now.
Oh, okay,
And she's
okay.
like,
Yeah.
they were, like, looking through each other's closets.
Oh, that's so sweet. Whatever gifts like you wouldn't take, she's like, I can just give them to your
Yeah,
girlfriend now.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, totally, but, no, she's the best, but yeah, I, like, had no excuse to not be fashionable, but I was, like, and my brother was even so fashionable too, like, he was
Mm.
so cool, and then it took me I was a late bloomer.
Okay. It takes a
I
while to come into your
Yes, I
style.
was a
And
late
yeah,
bloomer
yeah.
for sure, but I think I got there.
You got there.
I
Well, I
think I got
already
there.
opened this by saying you're the
Yeah,
coolest girl I
and
think I've
thank
ever
you.
met. So
Thank you,
there you
thank
go.
you.
You're set. You're
Yeah.
set. But do you remember like what it was like singing in front of your mom's store?
Okay,
Like, do you remember what kind of
right.
songs were you
Yes.
singing? Like, I'm just imagining this like cute little girl
Yes.
in basketball shorts,
Yes.
belting it out.
Yes, so let's get into that. So, my mom owned a clothing store, and she, like it was my favorite store, and she played the best music, but I was like, "If I sing" I guess I was, like, a little narcissistic kid because I was like, "If I sing, I'm gonna draw on every single person that walks by." And so I would go outside, and I'd kinda, like I'd sing quietly because I was a little shy at first, but then, like, I felt like I really would get into it, or I would even dance inside
Mm.
because it's, like, glass doors and
Oh,
everything so they
wow.
can see in.
Okay.
So I would just be performing anytime I was there, waiting for people to, like, swarm around me and, like, come in and buy every single piece of
I love
clothing
this.
that's
I
in
love
the
you're
store.
almost like the Matilda of like music and dance. So you're like, if
Yeah,
I just like stare at them long enough,
I know.
they'll move.
I'd also do the same thing if we ever had lemonade stands at my house.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was convinced
This
that
is she's an
anytime
innovator. Okay. Nobody was
anytime
just
that I
selling
sang, I
lemonade.
was convinced people were gonna come. No one ever did, and I don't know why I had the confidence to keep doing it, but I did keep
Yeah.
doing it,
Yeah.
and it never did work, but that's
Well, no,
okay.
it did work. I think it's all about that manifestation, right? Like you believed in your heart that if you were singing, the people would come, and
Yes,
now they are coming.
and
And
they came a little late,
yeah,
but they're
yeah,
here
yeah,
now.
yeah.
They're here now.
They made it here. And by the way, guys, if you're in and around Toronto, which if you're listening to this, you probably are. Jade is going to be at the Velvet Underground May 2nd. So make sure you get tickets to that. I will be there, and it's going to be a fun time. We're going to have a great time there.
It's gonna
But
be
that's great. The
so
people
good.
will come. I want to go back to when you were in middle school still. I know you
Yeah.
started writing songs then when you were in middle school. What could like an 11-year-old be writing about? Like what were your songs about then?
I think I wrote, like, some of the most emotional songs in middle school, like,
Really?
that's when you're, like, emo,
Yeah.
and, like, "Oh my god, my friend said something," or "My friend likes the same person," or something like
Yeah.
that, like, I stubbed my finger playing basketball one day, and I remember coming home, and I was like and then I rewrote "Stay" by Rihanna, and that's the first song I ever wrote. Yeah, I rewrote "Stay" by Rihanna because I was like, "That's a sad song. Let me write, like, even like, make it even sadder."
About your finger being broken.
It wasn't about my finger,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay.
I don't know what triggered. I think the finger triggered it
Oh, the
'cause
finger
I
was
was
like when you're like, that's the last fucking straw.
yeah,
Like,
that was
yeah.
my last straw, and I was like, "Oh my god, my friends." I don't literally couldn't tell you why. It's middle school. Like, I couldn't tell you what it was, but I was really emotional that
That's so
day, and I rewrote it, and I was like, "I can write songs."
yeah.
And then I started writing all these sad songs
Yeah.
in middle school, yeah.
Do you find it like cathartic to like get the sadness out? Like, does it make you happier to
Oh,
like
yeah.
put it
It's
out?
like
Yeah.
it's definitely therapeutic. It's like my way. People journal and people do all that stuff. I write songs.
Yeah,
That's my
yeah,
way
I
of
love
doing
that.
it.
For
Mhm.
me, it's like writing comedy and like
Mhm.
performing my comedy, and I find like it's a similar thing of like if something now, even now in life, like if something bad or like inconvenient or like embarrassing happens to me, I'm just like, wait, this is gonna be great content.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
pretty
even
much.
mad about it
I
because
know.
I think, like, especially once you realize too that like so much of life that we're experiencing, like other people are feeling it too. And like I think that's the best feeling when you hear like a joke or you hear like a song that just connects with something and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know anyone else thought that way. Like
Yeah.
I'm so seen, like Jade LeMac gets me.
Yeah,
Like,
totally, totally, totally.
I love it. I love it. Have you always been like that? Like really loving to take like your personal experiences and translate that into art?
Yeah, I just feel like that's like I am not the best with speaking. Like my vocabulary,
You're doing great.
I'm
You're
trying.
doing
Thank you,
great. 100.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I try like my best, but it's so weird. I'm definitely better at I think writing and like writing songs rather
Mhm.
than speaking. I can like make up metaphors and things like that, which I find easier than like finding real big
The
words.
actual words, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just it's definitely like my way of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What advice do you have for people that might be trying to figure out how to express their voice or like actually find their voice? Because you have a very unique voice and like sound to all of your music. Like what advice would you give for people who are trying to do that?
I think just like experiment. Like that's the best thing to do to experiment and like keep trying. People ask me all the time how to do it and I kind of just have to try and like let it come naturally and if you don't like something, like don't be hard on yourself about it. Just keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Keep manifesting that if you're singing in front of your mom's shop, they will be in the crowds
They
one
will
day.
come.
They will
Yeah.
come. You will be able to get them into a
Yes.
massive crowd.
Yes.